Hi, my name is Risa with Junior Achievement, and I want to share with you an optional activity adaptation for Session 5, Keeping Score, from the JA Economics for Success curriculum. This came from a volunteer who taught it this way last year, and it went really well in her classroom. The thing she most liked about it is that it allowed her the opportunity to really talk to the students about what increases credit scores and what decreases credit scores. So what you'll notice is you can use the outline found in the guidebook for your introduction and do everything that it says up until the game play. Instead of having the students split into small groups, we would encourage you to do a class-wide game where you collectively try to get a credit score of 720. What you're going to do to set this up is you are going to take one set of the keeping score cards from the class set. What you're going to do is from that set tear apart just the scenario cards. You can set aside the accept, required, draw, and discard and exchange cards and just leave them to the side. So all you need is one set of scenario cards along with one die. What you're going to do is on the board, and I would encourage you to have your classroom teacher help you keep score so that you can focus more on the students and the scenarios, but you can have a student come to the front of the room, draw one of the scenario cards, read the card, and do whatever it says. And so, for example, this one happens to say that you shred items with personal information to avoid costly identity theft. Add 10 points. This is a really good card. So what you're going to do is you're going to increase your score overall to 710. You'll notice that there are a lot of negative cards in here, so it may seem, as we started off this way, really easy to get to 720, which is the ultimate goal, but there is a lot of cards that bring your score down. So I would just say that as a reality that your class may not get to 720 by the end, and if that happens to be the case for your classroom, just talk to the students about the reality of how important it really is to focus on your credit score and to make sure that they're starting habits today that will help them maintain a healthy credit score in their future. What you're going to do is have the student come up, read it, do whatever it says, and then talk a little bit about it if it seems applicable. You can talk about why it increased or decreased the score. You could share a little bit about what you could do to reverse the effects of that situation. You could fold in some of your own personal life stories or connections that you can make to the scenario. You can talk in between as many questions as you want and whatever seems right for your classroom. There is a lot of content in this lesson, and so these scenarios directly reinforce what's taught throughout the introduction and the main activities. So just know that you can fold in, remind the students of those things as you go along. You can play this for as long as time allows in your classroom. You may get through all the scenarios, you may not, and so just keep that in mind. We would just encourage you to have fun with it, to keep the students engaged, and to bring in connections throughout the gameplay. Ultimately, we want you to try to reach a score of 720 because in credit scores they range from 300 to 800 as it's outlined in the book, and we know that anything 720 and above is typically considered good or excellent. Anything 600 and below is considered poor or potentially risky credit, so that's just something you want to point out to the students as well. We hope you have a lot of fun with this activity. Make it your own and enjoy.